right, what's up, everybody? We're back for now episode 5, which is what I was calling it 3 episodes ago. So, episode 5. It's
Yeah,
me, Esai, Mariel. How you doing?
pretty good, man. Welcome, everybody.
Yep. Welcome to another. This is like an anniversary type podcast, right? We've already hit 5 episodes. I don't know what
Wow,
that's.
I wasn't thinking about it that way, but sure.
I don't know why. I don't know why I thought 5 was like a significant number. Um, I guess maybe once we get to
Maybe.
like 50,
Oh,
that's the thing.
okay. Yeah, we might
Oh.
have to talk about whether we're going to do seasons or whether
Oh,
there's going to be like
sounds like we're not getting to episode 50. Thanks for y'all listening so far.
thanks for the short ride.
Yeah,
We'll discuss.
it's been good. It's been good so far. I want to thank my fans.
Yeah,
All the people.
our fans, huh?
Oh yeah. Well, the people who are just listening to hear me talk about how hot it is in Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Only the fans who are asking for episode 50. So,
Right. Yeah.
anyways.
Hey, we got some good responses from our Instagram thing, so we'll see.
Yeah, anything. How was your weekend? How did everything go?
It was good. So my new job, I work on the weekends now. I think I mentioned it a few episodes ago, but
Yeah.
Mondays and Tuesdays are my weekend now, and
Okay.
so it's just a
So
bit of an adjustment, but it's good.
yeah, so what do you do on Mondays and Tuesdays? Is you consider like what you would do on a Saturday and Sunday so far?
Well, it's hard to do that since everyone else is working, so I can't really
It's not Saturday for everybody else.
right. I can't really message someone and be like, hey,
Yeah.
do something at 1 o'clock, and they're like, no, it's Monday.
Yeah. I don't think
So
anything's even open right at 1 o'clock on a Monday.
right. Well,
Yeah.
that's another thing I'm noticing too. Like, there are a lot of big businesses that are like closed randomly on like Tuesdays and stuff.
Really? What about
Yeah, I didn't know that. Maybe it's a New York. Maybe it's a New York thing, but
yeah? You see, it's because you're taking like casual strolls through the city and you're starting to realize like, wait a second, they're not open because no one else is out.
right. Basically, they're like the business is dead. Or even like there's like a coffee shop nearby me that they're closed on Tuesdays, for example. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I guess it's a weekday thing.
That's weird. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've really paid attention to what's open, what's closed during the week here. I don't know if there's any like fan favorites, like the way it is in New York. You just go to your corner coffee shop and like, here it's not. I don't think that's like a thing to have like a corner coffee shop. If you ask someone like what's their favorite coffee shop, they're gonna say like the local Starbucks.
That's it, really. That's so boring.
Yeah, I mean, if you start going to like the good, like I guess if you live in sort of like the upscale places near downtown Dallas, like or near the Bishop Arts District, like those type of places, like arts districts and like places where millennials are moving in. I feel like then they'd probably have like, oh, we go to this coffee shop right here, but I don't know. I don't think I don't think it's like the way you guys are experiencing it in New York.
Yeah, we have some mom and pop shops. We have one that's around the corner from literally like 15 steps away from my place here in Astoria that they're like I think it's just one lady who owns the shop and they have like a small Instagram page. So it's a lot of that in
Yeah,
New York. It's like little mom and pop shops and stuff like
yeah,
that.
and you guys really admire them. What
Yeah.
Astoria? Where's Astoria? Just for people who are unfamiliar, where is Astoria located?
Well, no one is unfamiliar except you, say, but I'll tell
For
you.
those who don't know.
Astoria is in Queens, which is one of the five
Oh,
boroughs.
stop right there.
Well, hey, cool. Let me say something. For everyone who doesn't know about New York, living in Manhattan is like so 2002. Like that's not even like what
Is
people
it?
do anymore.
What's the new place?
You listen. Well, I work in Williamsburg, and so tons of people living in Williamsburg and Brooklyn in general. But Astoria is, I think, one of the best neighborhoods in the city.
Astoria. I've heard the name Astoria, so I know it's at least reputable if I've heard about it. Would you say
Did
it's
you know
nice?
that?
Go on.
Yeah, no, Astoria is awesome. Lots of green space, so I like it because it's literally 15 minutes from the city. But then it's also you have green space, and it's in Queens, which Queens is the most diverse area, like in terms of like its size.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how big Queens is like on a mile basis, but
Hmm.
in terms of anywhere else in the world, Queens is the most diverse section of that size in the entire world.
Okay, so the amount of people that are living in Queens, it's just full of
Yep.
diversity compared to any other
Yep.
similar population size across the globe, just so I can clarify for the listeners.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So it's
So like
basically
diversity in terms of like people or like food
yeah.
diversity or
So
like
what so well, exactly. So people, but then that brings with it like
yeah.
authentic Thai restaurants, authentic Mexican restaurants, like literally all the cuisines have
Yeah, yeah.
authentic components to it. Then you have street vendors. So it's just an awesome place.
So it's like a foodie's paradise over there in Astoria.
That's
Now,
correct.
okay, so what's better, Astoria or if you're anywhere in Manhattan? If you had to choose,
Uh,
if you had to choose, they said you could live in Astoria, you can live in Manhattan. Bless you.
oh, thank you. That depends where in Manhattan. That depends if I'm living on a budget. If I'm living on a budget,
Oh, yeah.
well,
Nah, like
I mean, you know,
let's say someone says, you know what, rent's free anywhere in Manhattan or Astoria.
well, I'm a big green space guy, right? So I love parks. So
Okay.
I love taking a walk and I love going to like water. I love all that stuff. That's why I like studying abroad.
Astoria is sounding a little bit more like Staten Island. I don't know
No,
what you're
I
describing
can
me.
assure you, a story is awesome.
15 minutes away from the city, guys. He said it.
It is 15
He's
minutes by
describing
train.
Staten Island from the
No, Staten Island
train.
is yes, 15 minutes. Oh, actually, either or. But no, Astoria and Queens in general is awesome. Listen. I'm a native New Yorker, so I'm well versed in the differences. But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I like Queens more just because it has more parks and has more authentic like New York stuff. So
yeah, that's cool. I went to a similar city type of landscape. I guess just a city, right? I went to a bigger city, a well-known city. Uh, I went to Chicago this past weekend
oh,
on a
that's a big
little
change.
on,
That's a big change for you, right?
on a
Since
small
you
weekend trip. Let's hear it. Why is this a change?
well, you're in
Prepare
Dallas,
myself.
so
Oh,
you're
okay,
in
yeah.
so
Uh,
you know a village to the big city. It's a
yeah, yeah. Well, it's not a village here. Like I said, I mentioned this a few episodes ago. I think Dallas probably has more diverse food than Astoria. I don't know where Mariel got his
He
fact
said
from.
probably. He said probably. We're just
um,
talking, all right, people.
yeah.
We're just put
Anyways,
statements out like that. He just no
yeah,
idea.
I went to Chicago this past weekend,
Mm.
and so if you guys were listening past few episodes, I did have to take a plane to Chicago since it was a weekend trip, so I couldn't drive up there. So I definitely was
Oh,
breathing in that Rona air. And to be honest with you, the airport doesn't even seem like anybody knows that Corona's going on.
really?
I rolled up to DFW. DFW is our big airport here
Hmm.
in Dallas. It's Dallas Fort Worth. They're we're considered like a metropolis. All right, I'm gonna mess this up right now. Anyways, we're gonna skip that part. We're this big city, and they try to combine us together.
Yeah,
Anyways,
the DFW metropolitan area. I know.
metropolitan area.
That's when you have three villages together, they kind of combine
Yeah,
them together.
I wanted
That's what they do.
not village. I wanted to say metropolis like from Superman, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. Um,
Metropolitan? Yeah, metropolitan. Yeah.
Metropolitan. Anyways, so I rolled up to DFW, and that was a hassle. I should have known from the get go that it was going to be packed because we did the thing where it's like you can just park right there at the terminal, and I had flown like early in the pandemic. I forgot for what reason, or before it started, or after it started. I can't really remember, but I don't remember having any really issues going through the airport, right? Because there wasn't really too many people there.
Hmm.
But trying to park was crazy. There was no parking spots anywhere. And I'm like, wait a second, why isn't there any parking spots out of all these like parking garages? Not a spot. So that was already an indicator of what was to come at DFW. Um, I will
Mm.
say, and excuse my language or my vernacular, it was the most tacky I've ever seen DFW. It was the most hood rat group of people there. Now, was I a hood rat being there also? Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
here's the deal. So DFW, I would say is a nice airport, but that was like unrecognizable to me. I get there and there's like lots of people, right? Of course. And then there's okay, there's always a lot of people, so COVID's clearing up. But then we get to like where there's like the food lines, right? Because this is probably in the evening around dinner time. Um, Food lines are like packed up, like lines reaching all the way down to like the restroom, just like people lined up to get food. So did we end up going in one of those lines? Yeah, we were hungry. Might as well wait.
So you were just
But
another person.
yeah, I'm just one of these people I'm describing. But here's what I'll say is what's wrong, right? I'm just setting the stage for everybody.
Mm.
So we're in line near the restrooms because I said the line extended out the restroom where those people near the restroom. Some guys are already getting out, like there's gonna be a fight breaking out in the restroom. These guys are arguing with each other, cussing each other out, talking about who's scared of who. And I'm thinking to myself, I have never in my life seen anybody fight at the airport like this. Like they're like this is like back at middle school, high school, like they're about to duke it out in the restroom. It's like, what is going on?
This is one of those Isai moments where you're like, "What am I doing here?" What is
Exactly. I'm looking around. I said, wait, where am I? Is this the right airport? Like, what am I doing here with these people? They're
no.
about to fight in the restroom. And so I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And there's people over here yelling and screaming on this other end, and they're like laughing and like, but they're just yelling, just being obnoxiously loud, like, hey, it's dinner time, there's kids around, like we're here at the airport, like, hey, calm down for a second, you know? What you guys doing all this yelling and hollering? But then I figured out what the source of the problem was. At one
Mm.
of the tables was this guy eating his food, two phones. That's how you know the person's already sus. People who have two phones, they're automatically suspect. You gotta look into them. Keep your eye out on them. Just
What if
why
you
they
have a
got
business phone?
why they got two phones for? Anyways, well, he has two phones. One he's on, and the other one he's using, like I guess, just to watch a video. But it's like this. I want to say like an Asian techno, because I don't know if that's like a real genre of music. The language sounded like it was a dialect or language coming from the Asian continent,
Mm.
just based off what I was hearing. But like I guess it's like I don't know how to describe the music. Like I said, it's like an Asian techno because it was like almost like a dubstep. It was just like building up, but you could hear sort of like I want to say it's like Japanese. You know, if you ever watch like those Japanese videos and you can kind of instantly recognize that like child voice coming out, that's what it was like. And he was like playing this out loud. And at first I was like,
Mm.
is this the speakers like playing this, here at the airport? No, it's just him. He just decided to jam out in the middle of the food court area, wherever those food places are at his seat, just out loud to everybody.
Right.
And then I realized I'm like, you know what? This is what's going on. This guy's hyping everybody up. He's his music just jamming out at the beat of which it was going, it was just making everybody all hyped up, and that's what was causing everybody to be sort of like yelling and stuff like that. And I realized it was him because all of a sudden things got real peaceful, and then I realized, wait a second, that guy's gone. The music stopped, and then everything got peaceful again. And I was like, this guy was causing issues. I don't know. Have you seen the Kingsman movie? The Kingsman, which is
Yes, exactly. So
Spice.
at first I was gonna say it sounds like a quiet place, but then I was thinking like, what's that movie where like people hear a sound and they start
Yes,
going crazy?
it was like that. It was like the Kingsman. I feel like we're having an experiment playing on this because
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he was playing this music and everybody was going kind of. I was getting
Hey,
aggravated.
hey, honestly, everything you said just now, no precaution with regards to coronavirus.
Yeah,
Um, People fighting,
yeah,
a very long food line. It just
yeah.
sounds like a typical day in Dallas. So I'm not sure if that was really that
Well,
music.
it
So
is. Yeah, I guess it is a typical day in Dallas. This is like going on the corner, and seeing just saying what's up, everybody, and that's going down. But I wouldn't expect this at the airport. Like in the first few minutes I'm
mm,
there, I feel like the airport has a little bit more class sometimes. But here's what I will say, and this is not disrespect to anybody, but on the plane up there, we were riding. We got these tickets a little cheap, but everybody who's listening, there's only one way you can really get cheap tickets, and that's if you're flying Frontier, or if you're flying everyone's favorite airline, Spirit Airlines.
oh no.
So we're rolling up with one backpack because we're not paying for any luggage to go on this plane. So we got backpacks for this little weekend trip because we're flying Spirit. We're in Terminal E, which I realized on the way back that Terminal E is separated from all the other terminals. You can only access Terminal E through the little train system they have going on there at DFW. They don't even want to connect it to the other terminals. So we were already sort of with the riffraff of Dallas, that's why everybody was sort of yelling and stuff because everybody was getting these cheap flights. So there was
Mhm.
no way to sort of, I don't know. Anyways, the thing is that we're right in spirit, so that I'm pretty sure that was a contributing factor
Mhm.
um, to why there was so much going on. Because everybody there just did not care.
Yeah. It wasn't
Um,
it wasn't it wasn't how you normally see DFW.
Yeah, usually not. And so, I mean, which is fine. I haven't been to an airport in a while now. It's been, a long time since I've been on a plane. At least it's felt like it, right? I wasn't used to it, but I was like, hey, and I guess part of me still believed like, oh, Corona's still a thing, so there's not gonna be that many people. But you
Part of you
know,
still believed.
yeah, a little part of me because I mean the way things are going in Dallas, right? Everybody's starting to act like, wait a second, it doesn't exist no more. But
Yeah, that Texas feeling is must be real.
yeah, yeah, no, it definitely feels like it's kind of going away. Like some places you got to put a mask on. When I went West Texas with for my brother, like I had mentioned in the past podcast episode, the one before. Like we walked into the building, my dad had forgot his mask, and the guy was like, "Oh no, you're cool, man." Like basically gave my dad like this, like wink, like we don't do this here, like we don't put masks on. So like they were doing that pre-pandemic. Only like I can only imagine what they're doing now.
Yeah.
And so like and that's sort of like the vibe going on right now in Dallas.
Hmm.
It's just like yeah, some places of course yeah you obviously there are, but like at the airport there's people walking around with no mask. Um, and no one told me anything. And I wasn't gonna be a Karen and be like, "Hey, turn and put your mask on." I was just like, "Oh, these people are wild," and I was just trying to like keep my distance away as I could. But then I was like, I'm the dummy here at the airport with all these other people,
Yeah,
and
you didn't
so,
yeah. You
but
put
I will.
yourself in you played yourself.
I played my. I was anxious. I was so anxious about to get on the plane. I knew like I was gonna have to be with all these people in this clouded air. I heard babies. I heard kids coughing. I was freaking out. And I did get on the plane, and these seats were cramped. It was like pieces of metal that they just taped on some like pleather to, and that was like your seat. And I felt like they made them closer than what they needed to be. Like there was no need to make them the seats as close as they
Well,
were.
you were on Spirit, so Spirit probably like doesn't even follow any of the measurements. Like it's
Yeah,
just
no,
like making their own
I feel like they just said how many seats can we put in there?
right, right.
It's how many can we fit? And then they said double it. And that's basically what happened. And we were like right before we were like the row was right before the exit row. So I could
Mm.
see like all the freedom that the exit row had with all their like leg room and like their seats were a little bit more spaced. And I was like, wow, like that's the free I was like so close to the freedom line. But not quite
Right.
there. But I did see that there was some spots sort of empty in those exit
Wait,
rows.
but if you sat in that row, you have to basically agree like if something goes down, you're willing to open the door.
Yeah, but here's the
Is
deal:
that would is
everybody agrees to that, and some of the people I see agrees to that. I'm like, come on, are they going to be able to open that door?
would you open that?
Listen, every time I look at the exit row, I've been in the exit row a few times. I've like planned it out how I'm going to open the door. Um, Now one time I got in trouble because you have to verbally say yes when they say
Mhm.
like, "Do you understand?" And I was like, "Mm-hmm," and she's like, "I need you to say yes, sir," and I was like, "Oh."
Did you
And
just say yeah?
I got mad heated. I was upset, and I realized, and then they were like trying to tell me like it was my fault. I should have just said yes. And I was like, listen, I she knew what I meant when I nodded. But no, you got to. So anybody out there, you can't nod. You got to verbally respond to them and say yes. You can lift that door up or open
I
the
don't
exit
know
door.
if I don't know if I'd be down to do that. I don't know if I would pick that seat because of that reason.
Really, you don't think you'd be able to open the door?
Uh, nah.
Well, because they got like three of you, so I feel like there would be two other people helping me out. Um,
Oh no, that's not the point. I just don't want to be.
oh, you just don't want that responsibility?
I don't want the responsibility. A, but also B. If we're in a situation where we need to do that, I got other stuff I'm thinking about. But then
Oh,
C,
they except open the door.
but then C, I also like I don't want to be the window seat of the door where I'm the first one to experience this, like the
Oh,
one right there.
really?
Like, nah, I'm good. So I'll let somebody else handle that, and then we'll
I
figure it out.
guess the way I see it is like I want to be the first one out. Like that's my first chance out. Like
But how high? You don't even know
first
how
one to
high you're gonna be.
survive. That's a bridge I gotta cross when I get there. I feel like that's that's a future problem. For
Yeah.
now, what my issue is, here's the deal. I've flown quite a few times now. I've never
Mm.
had to open exit doors, so
Jesus Christ.
I think I'm still risking it for the biscuit. Here's the deal. At some point, you gotta think to yourself, is it worth it? Right? I think it's worth it because I don't want to be sitting next to people like all cramped up. And for some reason, like the moment I get on like a plane, in my head, I start thinking to myself all the things I can't do because I'm on this plane.
Yeah.
So like all of a sudden my legs just want to stretch out and I want to like cough and I want to like sneeze for no reason. I just want to be doing these things because I know that I can't do them while I'm on the plane.
Bro, it's,
Um,
as soon as you tell your brain, all right, don't do this, and that's
yeah,
when your brain is like,
exactly.
you want to test
Oh,
me?
yeah. Where do you think I can? Um, so yeah. So well, anyways, I'm there and I'm seeing. I didn't know this is a thing. Did you know that like if there's an exit row and there's like one guy on that within that exit row, like they have to bring another person up. Like there has to be like at least two people on an exit row, like to for the thing.
Oh, you
Per
mean across, like if it's two, like it
yeah,
can't
so
be
like
one person by himself on. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
yeah, like you have to have someone else there. And so I guess no one had reserved those tickets, whatever. So I was looking at it and I was with Lindsay, and so she was kind of saying, like, she told me this and I didn't believe her, but I was like, wait a second, maybe this is a thing, and no one was there. So the flight attendant, what I was doing, I was trying to make myself like obvious that I was like uncomfortable where I was sitting.
She
And
can offer you this the
like
extra leg room.
half my body was hanging out of the seat in the row, and I'm like trying to make eye contact with her, trying to get her like attention any way I can, just so she
Hmm.
can see that I'm like visibly uncomfortable. And it didn't work. And then she's trying to give like the little safety thing, like if you have to open the door, can you guys do that? And I'm like trying to nod and try to be like, yeah, like I'm listening. Is it me? Are you talking to me? But
I'll open any door. I'll
yeah,
open.
yeah, I'll be there. I'll do it. You want me to sit there? But no, she didn't. She ended up going to the back of the bus and the back of the plane and getting someone from back there to go take that seat, which made me a little upset
Mm,
that happened. So that flight was a little bit of like I was like, oh my gosh, it was hard. Just having to deal with that. But made it to Chicago on Spirit.
mm,
Got out and it's a nice city, Chicago. We ended up staying at this sort of a nicer hotel called the Blackstone, and apparently it's a landmark in Chicago, being
mm.
one of the hotel. It's called like the Hotel of the Presidents, because a lot of like former presidents would stay at this hotel, like John F. Kennedy and Roosevelt and Hoover, and all these presidents from back in those times.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I slept in the room that John Kennedy slept in.
Well, okay.
Um,
Well, I don't know.
I was there. Either John F. Kennedy or Marilyn Monroe, one of them was in this
All
bed.
right. Well, she's not a pro. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
now I'm
so
taking this with a grain of salt.
well, we're just talking, but listen, guys, if you guys can fact check me, I'm pretty sure I was on the 12th floor.
Mm,
That was sort of like a mid range floor. So, but I'm pretty sure John Kennedy engraved his initials in the wall, and I saw something that looked like a J. So,
mm.
I'm am I like one of the Kennedys? Maybe
Yeah.
I've been there.
Maybe it was meant to be. Maybe you shared a bed with JFK. Is that what you're saying?
I got that JFK energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got that Playboy energy.
Yeah.
Um,
There it is.
but yeah, so it was a nicer hotel. Really cold. It was like in the 40s when we got there, and it was like 80. It was like 90 when we left from Dallas. So
Oh yeah.
I will say
Yeah.
that I knew what the weather was going to be like prior, but I didn't bring anything to sort of you know prepare myself for this weather at
Well,
all.
how could you? You had the Spirit backpack. You
Yeah,
couldn't. You didn't
right.
have the space.
Exactly. I didn't have the space for anything. I only had enough space for an extra pair of underwear, and but I just didn't bring anything that would like help me out in the cold. So I did bring a pair of pants. I was wearing a pair of pants,
I'm glad.
and a t-shirt. So I was out. I was out and about walking down. Chicago in the city of Chicago in a and a t-shirt and some jeans.
So did you try the deep dish pizza?
Okay, yes. That's what I was gonna lead into. So, I had already mentioned to Lindsay before that I wanted to try a Chicago deep dish pizza,
Mhm.
because I feel like that's something that's Chicago's very like well known for. And so Mario might have something else to say about Chicago. I don't know. I
I
feel like
mean,
in terms of food, I feel like people know about the Chicago deep dish. Um,
that's
and
true. Or Giordano's, with Giovanni's, whatever the name is. But yeah, they have a famous pizzeria over there.
uh, yes, it's like it sounds like a loom. Sounds like loom. It sounds like Illuminati. That's what the name of it. Minati's or Matani. I already forgot the name of it. There's a famous Chicago deep dish pizzeria, and it was only 5 minutes away from the hotel. And I
Mm.
told Lindsay, I had already mentioned to her before that I wanted to get deep dish there, and so she kept bringing it up to her family about getting deep dish, and no one was really catching on. But so after like a day of walking stuff, we decided like screw, it, we're just gonna go here to this place. I'm pretty sure it's called Lou Miniatos or Mignon, something like that. Oh my gosh, I messed it up again. Anyways, it was only a 5 minute walk, so we said, yeah, let's do it. We got a large deep dish, and I will say it's one of the best pizzas I've ever had.
Oh, come on.
Was from
You've
this
been to New
place.
York. This is oh
Okay,
jeez.
for everybody who listened before, Mariel took me to a Sabaros. I felt like Michael Scott from The Office took me to Sbarro's and said, "This is the best pizza in New York."
I'm
Um,
pretty sure
it
I didn't
was
take you to
this was
Sbarro's, but
frozen pizza that they reheated in their fake brick oven.
it was a
It,
food court
it
type of
was
environment.
rats running around the back. This was
Brother Wayne, disregard.
food court pizza, and everybody's like, it's so good. They're dogging it, and like, yo, this is Sbarro's, like they got this everywhere.
Hey, let me
Um,
tell you something. New York City's 99-cent slice is better than Chicago's pizza. Now, have I had
okay,
Chicago's pizza? No. But
okay,
we're just talking.
so that's false. Now, for people listening, no, New York, there's a reason why it's 99 cents.
But that's what I'm
Um,
saying. Our pizza is superior no matter which way you cut it. No way, no pun intended. But
listen,
I almost had Chicago. I almost had Chicago pizza because
oh,
the
almost,
Giordano's or whatever. There's like the famous
yes,
chain in Chicago.
yes,
They had one in Vegas when I went to Vegas
okay.
last year, and I almost had it, but then I opted against it.
Yeah, okay. Well, well, you missed out. Here's the deal.
Allegedly.
No, this place I did see that they like ship the pizzas, like they have it's like a whole thing over there in Chicago.
Oh,
Like
it's frozen and then they ship it to the. Is that what you just said?
yeah, like in Chicago. No, there's not just that place. Usually let me fun. It's not just that place. I think it's like a lot of places in Chicago who are like they have like these whatever it is they're famous for. They've
Mm.
all kind of grouped together and have like this catalog of things they can freeze and ship over. Now
Mm.
this tasted fresh. You have
Uh,
to give them 45-minute heads up before they make your pizza because it takes them 45 minutes to create the deep dish, 45 minutes to an hour. And I will tell you, it was one of the best pizzas I've ever had. It was really good.
well, now I know why New York will never adopt the deep dish model because ain't no one got
Yeah,
time to wait 45 minutes
and that's
for
why
some
you
dough to
guys,
settle.
and that's how you know they're reheating up Sabaro's frozen pizza. 99 cents. How do you think they're selling 99 cents on little hot dog carts?
Hey,
Because
99 cents, the 99 cent stuff is a little sus. I'll give you that because I mean,
yeah,
if you're selling it for a buck, that means it must cost you what 50 cents to make.
yeah.
Then
What
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 I
is
mean,
it
that
costing?
is
No, they're making 80% on that. So it costs them 20 cents to make that slice of pizza. Even maybe
I'm
even
just like,
less.
damn, like a whole pie cost you $3 to make. Like you just start thinking about the math.
That's
Wait a second,
that's crazy.
where does this
Now,
cheese come from?
yeah, why is it rubbery for? All these questions to be asked. Now, this listen, it was one of the best. Was it the best? I'm not entirely sure yet. I haven't decided
Mm.
that. But it was really good. And I will say it's different also. It was since it is deep dish, I feel like it's considered in its own like league. It wasn't like a regular slice of pizza. It was
It's
like a
more
lot.
saucy, isn't it? Isn't it a
Yeah, it's
bunch of
like
sauce?
it's like a lot of sauce. Like and this one has like ripe tomatoes, like real tomato chunks on there and stuff. And the crust is like thicker, it's like almost like pie crust. And sometimes like,
Yeah,
it's a little bit
that's different.
different. So I wouldn't say like it's in the same level as another regular slice of pizza.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I mean I tried it. It was good. I'm pretty sure Al Capone was hid there during his reign of terror.
Interesting.
So I was visiting all the places. I was getting all that energy and manifesting it, for myself on the
Mm,
trip back. I didn't see the bean. I know I have the bean right here in my background. I had saw it the first time I went to Chicago. So I didn't feel like there was a need to go take a look at it again. I'm pretty sure it looked the same. Um,
that's like the only landmark I know.
yeah,
What's like
I think that's like the only famous thing in Chicago. Like people know, like, oh, let's go see the silver bean that everybody goes to.
and Willis, I guess the Willis Tower or the big
Oh,
tower
because yeah,
there.
that's how you know Mariel. Yeah, Mariel likes real estate. He's the only one who'd be excited to go see the tower.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm a big tall skyscraper fan. So
I did see the river. Um, like the river that they usually like dye green when it's like St.
yeah,
Patrick's Day.
that's
Um,
cool. That looks cool.
it looked like it still had
Some shades of green in there.
yeah, it looked like it still has some shades of green in there because it was. I was like, is the water supposed to look like this? It was
Might
still
just
a
be
little,
dirty.
maybe it was still a little green. But yeah, it was nice. I was freezing, because like I said, I only had a t-shirt on. Everybody was looking at me a little weird, like, why does he just have a t-shirt on? There was a lot of people walking, so like I said, everybody's kind of like, oh, is Corona thing or not? That's how they were acting. Um, but yeah, like I said, it was pretty cool. Her family is super cool, really great people.
Good.
They're from a small town in Michigan, called Niles, and so
Mm-mm.
it's sort of like nowhere. I don't know how to describe where it's at. It's like really small town vibes when you go there. Like they have like the star quarterback that everybody knows. Like sports is big. Like they
Oh
have that
wow.
quarterback that everybody knows in the city, and like their family is like famous, popular, like for their little town.
Yeah.
So like you go there, like everybody knows who they are, and
Hmm.
and like all their kids are like athletes, and so like they're just kind of
It's
like a
like
big.
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, it's like that. There's like big names there in that town, Miles, Michigan, and
Yeah.
so no, but they're real cool. They're Steelers fans, and so people were listening. I'm a Cowboys fan, so I usually don't tell people I'm a Cowboys fan because that's
It's
the
good.
well, because yeah, a lot of people don't like the Cowboys. Um, but no, but they're fine. They I don't think they like that I'm a Cowboys fan, but they're fine with it. But I think like here's all I'll say, like we're kind of there in this room, and there's like a lot of stuff going on. Like this is a family that you kind of see in like movies where it's just like a bunch of things are going on. And me, I just love watching when people are doing. And so I like sitting in my corner and I like just watching things unfold. And their dad, he's not that old. He's a little bit of like younger dad, maybe in his like 40s, and he's just like out of left field, just comes out of nowhere. He's just like, let's go walk up some alleys. Let's go check out some alleys. And I was like, what?
What?
What's he talking to? Because over on the left side they have this little baby, and they're like have the baby and they're just pretending like he's a machine, like it's a machine gun. So they're like doing this to the kid, and this other kid over here is crying, and these other people over here laughing. And he like, who's he talking to? When he comes out of left field, just saying, "Hey, let's walk up some alleys," and like no one's listening to him. And so I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down." He looked at me like he's excited. I was like, "I guess we're gonna go walk up some alleys." But I
Surprised you
did,
said that. If anyone said that to a New Yorker, we would be the first to opt out. We'd be like, well, we'll see you back here if you
yeah.
make it back.
Well, here's the deal. Here's why I relate to him, because when I got out of the hotel in the morning and I was walking, I saw this little alley and it looked like straight out of a movie. Like this alley, like I hadn't seen an alley like this before. Um, it was like I should have taken a picture because it felt like, have you seen the movie Joker? It felt like it was straight from the movie Joker or something. Like it was
I haven't
just
seen the movie Joker.
like there was like some steam coming out over here, but it was like clean. There was like a mural. The lighting was like perfect, and I was just like, I want to
Yeah.
walk down this alley, even though like every
Wasn't
part of
Joker in
me.
New York? I think that was filmed in New York.
Yeah,
So
I'm pretty sure it was filmed in New York, in the bad part, but that's all of it. Anyways,
mm,
the like I said, so when he mentioned going up alleys, I thought to myself, well, I wanted to go up an alley earlier. Maybe this is a sign. Um, no, but we didn't go up any alleys, unfortunately. But like I said, good
mm,
time, fun people. Um, Traveling, it was all right. On the way back, it wasn't too bad. Um, I feel like I didn't really see too much of Chicago. Um, but I guess it means I have to go back another time.
yeah, I've never been to Chicago. I want to go. Well, I've been to the airport, but yeah, I want to go explore the city a bit.
Yeah, yeah. I had been to the airport before, and so when I first got there, like I said, we flown in from Spirit, so they gave us the Spirit terminal in Chicago. So I was looking around, I'm like, is this Chicago Airport? Is this O'Hare Airport? Yeah, I was just in like the lower ends of, of the O'Hare Airport. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, no, like I said, fun time, cool city, a lot of history. I'm pretty sure I was everywhere that the presidents and Al Capone and
pretty sure you
Marilyn
weren't.
Monroe, and I was there. I was with Louis Armstrong. I was there with all of them.
Doubt it.
Every spot that they hit up, I was there. But yeah, so that was my weekend this past weekend. And there was, I left Friday. We have, I mentioned before we have a dog. I had to leave the dog with my parents. My mom left for Mother's Day weekend with her mom, my grandmother, and so they
Right.
went to San Antonio. So my dad and my brother were the ones who to take care of the dog, and my
Mm,
brother had to work, and then he went out with friends. So it was my dad who ended up getting left with the dog.
hmm
So I was constantly getting texts about when we were coming back, and he told me that I had to clean up the big dog poops that she left in the backyard, and he was stressing
Oh,
out. He was stressing out. So that was a fun experience having to like think about her when we were gone. At least I thought like no pooping on the bed, because she had did that before. But yeah.
that's one job that you. That's how you know owners really gotta love their pet, man. I mean, I don't know if I'd be able to pick that up every day after walking a dog. I don't know.
Oh no, like I know like when Lindsay first got the dog, I was like kind of like, I'm not picking a poop. Like it's not my dog. I'm not picking that up. Now that I've known her, now that I've been with the dog for so long, I see her every day. It's a little bit easier in the backyard. I just let her go. Like it's free range. You go take care of it. I'm not doing anything. But when we're walking, yeah, I do have to pick it up. I usually double bag it. I have
Yeah.
to because it just grosses me out.
Well, like one thing is like when it's like little rocks, but then what if it's like
It's
mushy? It's like,
wet or something. Yeah, and our dog, hers is always wet. It's we never have rocks. It's just slimy every single
oh,
time.
okay, well, yeah.
Well, my dad said that she was like she would use it and then like walk a few steps and then drop another like load and then walk a few steps and then drop another load and I was like she was backed up. I don't know what for.
Yeah.
Um, but I didn't see him. We'll have to bring on Psycho John and talk about that next
Yeah.
time. Yeah, but how was New York though? Even though you were working, was it busy this weekend? Anything going on? It was Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah, it's good, man. My mom just flew to DR, so she just flew to DR this past on Sunday morning. So I hung out with her on Saturday for, and that was kind of our pre-Mother's Day get
Yeah.
together. And now she's in DR, so she's living her best life, and she left us peasants over here.
Yeah. Now, is it DR or is it the DR? I like to say the DR for people listening. Mario will say DR, but let's try to
Uh,
figure out what this really is. What's the correct way?
I don't think I've ever heard a Dominican say the DR. I don't think any Dominican has ever said that. That's usually a foreigner who would say something like
Is it the Dominican Republic or is it just Dominican Republic?
That's different. Yeah, so I would say the Dominican Republic. That's only because it ends in republic, though.
Well,
Like,
so,
you know,
yeah.
it's a thing.
So yeah, so I just I'm just trying to clarify. We're just trying to figure it out here. We're just talking.
Hmm,
But
hmm.
like when we hear it feels like Dominican Republic would have to have the Dominican Republic.
It does.
So DR, that's an acronym, I assume. What's DR stand for?
Well, Dominican Republic.
Oh,
I played
there we
myself there.
go. There we
Yeah, yeah,
go.
that's not fair. I said it. I said it. Well, you get the point. It's DR. So
Yeah.
she's in DR now, so she's having a good time now. So
That's
um,
nice.
hopefully I'll get there later this year. But yeah, my weekend was just hanging out, seeing everybody. The problem with me is I work in Williamsburg, and Williamsburg is like a very like brunch and coffee and park. I work right in front of a park, and so on Saturdays and Sundays, I'm just seeing everybody
Oh,
like in
I
their
know.
street clothes, having brunch,
Yeah.
having a great time, and I'm just like walking around with my slacks, like crying.
Yeah, because you got to go to work.
Right.
And for people who are not listening, Mariel's a big breakfast person.
Hmm.
He has to have breakfast in the morning. I'm one of those people like I'll skip breakfast and go straight to lunch.
I don't know what that's like.
Mariel needs to have breakfast. So even if it's 12 o'clock, he'll have breakfast first and then an hour later have lunch. Um, but
Well,
so
the
if you
problem
so go on, yeah, let me hear it.
yeah, well, the problem with that is though, we run into problems, and I forget who I was talking to with this about, but, um, how do you decide what do you eat for breakfast usually? I there's only really 2 things, right? There's only eggs or something egg related,
Yeah.
or there's
Or like a
sweets,
lot of
which is
bread. Yeah, sweat. Yeah, there's sweat, sweets. Yep.
you
I would say
know
like a lot of breads. I would agree. I usually don't eat breakfast. Like I grew up, my mom had this bad thing of like she would I don't know, she just didn't really want breakfast and she'd rather have lunch. And so she kind
mm,
of just did that with me growing up. So as a kid, like even if I was hungry, she would just be like, well, let's just wait for lunch, we're not
even if I was hungry.
yeah, then that's how I grew up. That's so then like I right now like usually when people get like hangry when they haven't eaten,
Yeah,
I don't have that. I don't know what that really is. I don't experience that often because the way I grew up was like I ate whenever she felt like she was hungry.
yeah,
So
you were trained to be hungry.
yeah, so she wasn't hungry till 2, like we weren't eating until 2 and that was just it. And so that's how I grew up. So like breakfast for me is not really a thing. If anything, I get nauseated from eating breakfast. So I totally skip breakfast and breakfast related foods. But I think it's because like you said, there's not that much of a I think diversity, right, when it comes to like breakfast type foods. It's
Mhm.
all very like heavy, or like like you said, it has to have something with egg. And I'm not a big egg person. I can have like after an egg and a half, like I'm already like, oh, this is too much egg. I can't do it.
Well, that's the thing, like, if you're not exactly, so if you're not an egg person, that takes away approximately 50% of the breakfast options in the
Yeah,
world, and so, of course, you're not gonna be a breakfast person because then it's like, "I gotta eat pancakes every day?"
yeah, and I'm not a big sweets person, like in terms of
Right.
cakes and stuff like that. So, donuts and all that stuff is out of the way. And everybody knows how I feel about bagels. I just feel like too much bread. So breakfast
Yeah.
is not really my forte. But like you
Are
said,
you
yeah,
are you a are you a parfait fan?
parfait. It's like yogurt and granola,
And berries? Yeah, those are
berries.
those depending on where you get them from, those are nice.
I would say that I don't know. I don't really have that many parfaits. I don't know. Like, there's not too many places that sell parfait unless you're going to like a restaurant or like a brunch spot or something. But no one's just out here just selling parfait.
Which
Uh,
is
there's like, you come get some coffee and parfait.
well, that's the problem, it could all be so simple, but there's some things where there's not enough variety, and there's not enough places to get them. Parfait is one of them, like, the immediate thing that comes to mind right now is McDonald's. Who wants McDonald's parfait?
Oh, what's that? Now, yeah, uh, I I just get sick off of all breakfast foods. It doesn't matter. I think if you consider a breakfast food, like I'm just gonna get nauseated after it. I can have a cheeseburger though at 9 a.m. or a steak or something like that. Like that's not gonna affect me at all. But the
Yeah, so
morning,
you're actually you're fine with lunch and dinner foods, you just can't
yeah,
have breakfast
I just
foods.
cannot have breakfast foods for some reason. Something
Yeah,
about it just gets me nauseated. Something must have happened in my past, in my trauma, some type of childhood trauma there
yeah,
that I'm not aware of. But yeah, so it must be hard for you though, right? Because if you have to go to work on a Sunday, they're just doing a bunch of brunch things and it's not until later in the day. So you're just kind of stuck having to wait a little bit with your limited
yeah.
variety of foods.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really usually get hangry that often. I mean, I do need my coffee. I'm a big coffee drinker. Do you drink coffee? I don't think you do, right?
No, I do not drink coffee for anybody listening. I'm not a coffee drinker. I
Really?
believe that coffee has the opposite effect on me. Instead of making me
So it sounds like breakfast foods all over again.
instead of making me awake and alert, like I wish I could feel that with other people because people drink coffee and it like gives them life in the morning
It's me.
and
Yeah,
it gives them like the ability to like get their day started and get things going.
yeah,
And for me, I feel like coffee has the opposite effect. The caffeine just makes me want to knock out and go to sleep. So I've never had like that experience with coffee, so I just don't drink it. But I do envy the coffee drinkers because y'all guys have a lot of like different things y'all do with the coffee. It looks good. Y'all guys are all drinking it. It looks good and y'all are
yeah.
definitely hyped up afterwards.
It does
Uh,
feel like a superpower a little bit. Like if I'm like today, I was sleepy at like 3:30, 4 o'clock, but I knew that my second cup, I do 2 cups a day, but I knew my second cup was around
yeah,
4:35, and I knew I was gonna get those extra 2, 3 hours of just another bolt of energy. So
yeah. So I mean, in a way, coffee is like a drug.
Oh, it
Um,
is.
yeah, and you're an addict and you're getting hyped up about your second dose. He's
Hey,
gonna,
it ain't a problem as long as I can get it.
yeah, there you go. We'll just shoot up some extra coffee
It's only a
again.
problem when there's a limited supply.
That's funny. Have you ever? I remember back in school, and we have a fraternity brother Joel, and he was with these just some weird people back in school, and he had one friend who would snort caffeine. And some way he thought like that was gonna give him like a extra, I don't know, boost of energy by like going straight through his nasal cavity. I don't think it's
Now,
a thing.
when you say caffeine, you mean coffee, I'm guessing?
Well, yeah. So I think what he would do is he was sort of like you grind up coffee beans, just like really
Yeah, yeah.
fine, like espresso almost.
Mm-hmm.
And he would just like sniff it up,
Jesus.
and somehow he believed that was gonna
Like, why? Yeah, I'm not sure if that's really how that works. I have heard, I think in like Hawaii and like Pacific Island cultures, um, people do take whole beans and kind of stick them in between their gums and their upper lip and just kind of keep them there and kind of suck on them a bit.
yeah,
And that is
yeah.
that does bring the effect of caffeine much quicker.
I guess I could see that. Yeah. Well, more ammo for why caffeine is sort of like a drug, I guess, right?
Yeah.
People are doing it like as if it was cocaine, just rubbing it on their gum. I've never done cocaine, so I don't know how people do it, but I'm just doing all my stuff based off of movies and stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good to know.
but yeah, no, I'm not a coffee drinker. Um, I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't eat ice cream. I'm not a big fan of ice cream.
At
Um,
all?
oh no, not a big fan of ice cream that much.
What's
Like,
your favorite dessert?
mm, that's kind of hard, like I said, because I'm not like a dessert person where I'm like, I gotta have a dessert. I think I like, let me think to myself here. I will say this, I'm addicted to milk. I know people are gonna be like, that's gross. I'm addicted to milk.
That's terribly gross. I do actually do remember you drinking glasses of milk at in our cafeteria at school. Yeah.
Yeah, I drink milk. Like it's nobody's problem. I'll have like I've limited myself recently, and because I realized maybe milk is not so good for me, and so I really don't be drinking. I haven't been drinking that much milk at all. I don't buy milk at all anymore either. But sometimes I will get my hand on a little pint or recently recently
Those one of those little
yeah,
pints.
that's what I've been allowing myself to get. But my grandmother recently gave me a gallon.
Mm,
She didn't want of 2% milk, and that was the biggest mistake she could have done because pretty much the whole gallon was gone by the end of the day.
jeez.
Because that right there, I can go through milk like nobody's business. And when I have milk is when I am ready to have some type of dessert. So if it's like chocolate cake or like sugar cookies or anything that's like a pastry,
Yeah.
gosh, and like I'll just have one slice of cake and that'll just be like warm enough to have like 6 glasses of milk just
Jesus
because
Christ.
like I'll take a bite and I just like drink the whole cup just to like I don't know.
That's so interesting. I don't think I know anybody else who likes milk that much.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. And like I know people my dad loves trying to like tell me of how gross milk is and he always likes to say that's like cow puss and all this other stuff.
Ugh.
And I was like, listen, I love it though. It must be something good about cow puss that I like. Because I'm downing it like it's nobody's business. It's so
Yeah.
good. I
Have you tried lactate?
yeah, that's fake milk. My grandmother, that's why she gave me that gallons because she drinks lactate, right? It was without the
Hmm.
lactose, I guess basically.
Right.
I can't do it. My body knows like something and so you know how they say like humans can't really like digest milk or like we're not made right for cow's milk. Like
Right.
this is not normal if you really think
That's the
about it.
lactose, yeah.
I think my body is. I think that it's I think that it's just like I have some type of mutation and I'm able to
He said, I
digest it.
think he said, I think I've evolved.
I listen. I think that I have some type of mutation that's allowed me to basically process milk because I think that's the only way I'm able to just consume a lot of it and like nothing, no problem with me. I'm not lactose intolerant or anything. But she
Clearly.
drinks, yeah, no, she drinks the lactate, and my brother likes that milk better too, just because they substitute in order. I mean, they add sugar to it to make it taste better. And so he likes it because it just tastes sweeter. Um,
Mm.
and I'm not a big fan of that milk. I've tried almond milk before, soy milk, can't do it either.
Yeah.
I tried tricking myself into thinking it was okay. But it feels like I'm
It was okay.
but here's the deal, like I'm not a big like drinker of like different drinks anyways, like Cokes.
Mhm.
Here in, for people who don't know, in Texas, we call all sodas. What do you guys call them?
Oh,
Pop up there. We call them.
uh, nope, we just say soda.
We call them all Cokes. And so I remember that being a thing here. I forgot when I was someone asked me if you wanted a Coke, or I was like, no, I don't. I didn't want a Coke. I forgot how it went down. I was like, I don't drink Coke. They're like, oh, we have Sprite. We have. I'm like, no, I mean, like, I don't drink sodas, as you guys described it.
So you call every soda Coke.
Yeah, every soda here is called Coke. Like if you say I don't drink Cokes, it means like you don't drink all types of like sodas, I guess. It's hard. I don't think anybody ever says like, "Oh, you want a soda?" It's like, do you want a Coke?"
Or what
And
about if you or do you wanna that means so does that mean that you like all of them? If you like Cokes, that means you like all of them?
yeah, basically. Um
Jesus Christ.
no, if you're like, "Yeah, I like Cokes," then you usually have to specify which, you know, ones you like. But
Mm,
no one here takes Coke as like as face value. So like you're like, "Oh, I like Coke," and it's like, "Oh, you only like Coca-Cola." It's like if you say like Coke, if you say I want a Coke, and then they say like, "All right, what kind of Coke do you want?" You know, or what kind of
interesting.
yeah, I'll take a Coke, something like that.
Maybe the Texas language just isn't that developed yet, and so maybe there's just
I think we're just evolved. I think the Texas language is just evolved to just not waste time sometimes, you know.
well, that
Um,
yeah, right.
and so no, I don't know. That's just one of the weirder things that we do here. We also have pickles. Pickles are like a big thing here. For some reason, I don't know if that's a thing everywhere, but like snow cones will have like pickle flavored snow cone. Like there's like a pickle flavor.
Oh,
There's some like beers out there. They're like pickle flavor like beer. It's just like a thing here. When we go to the movie theaters, they sell jumbo pickles that you have it with your popcorn and stuff. Like it's just a thing.
at the movie theater?
At the movie theater, yeah. If you go to the movie theater, it's like you have
Wow.
popcorn, you have your cokes that you can have, and then hot dogs, and then there's like jumbo pickles. And you
I
can get
didn't
them
realize I didn't realize people like pickles. You know, until the moment I did realize it was when Lay's came out with a
with pickle
pickle
flavor.
flavored potato chip,
Yeah,
and I said, "Oh, this must be a thing."
yeah, people like pickle flavored things. I'm not a big fan of pickles. They're okay. I think part of me is just like by nature is just to like do the opposite of what's like popular for everybody else.
Well,
And
you also don't like, but I know this about Esai, but he's not a big fan of pickled and like expired juices and because don't you have an issue with tequila too?
oh yeah, well listen, here's the deal about like alcohols in general. Like I can smell like whenever I smell them, like tequila. I've smelled tequila, and whenever I smell tequila, it smells like bacteria. It smells like what bacteria is. So like for for anybody listening and know that I have like this background in biology, I would have to go in these lab classes, and during these labs I would have to work with depending what class it was, but a lot of them would have to deal with like different types of bacteria that you would put on these like dishes and stuff. um,
Hmm.
but like being all up in there for like multiple hours, like I've become accustomed to what like a bacteria smell is.
Yeah.
And whenever I would smell tequila, oof, gross, smelled like bacteria. And so I can't smell it. But yeah, expired juices, I feel like everybody would have a thing against expired juices.
No, some people like pickled things, like pickles, but also
Oh yeah, I guess I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like pickled like
like kimchi in Korean food like that, like which is like pickled
cabbage, I believe, right?
cabbage. Yeah, yeah. So like that, I love that stuff. For example.
Mm. I thought I did. I think I tried it and I realized no, I don't like that. I don't like pickled cabbage. Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of pickled things. I just don't like the brine is like just like it's basically like old salty
It
water.
is. It's like salty vinegar type of thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I get
old
that.
salty vinegar water. I'm not a big fan of those type of things. I guess I think I've tried to like things that people don't like. That's not true. I don't know. I try to think that I'm not picky. Um, one thing that I detest the most are onions.
Really?
I hate onions. I will eat onions though, which is
Wait.
I detest onions. They gross me out, and if you put onion in any dish, I'll taste the onion. I that was like that's always been a thing for me. Like if I have food
Mm,
and like I'll like taste as soon as like I taste a little bit of the onion or like a piece of like raw onion, like is the texture I can feel in my tongue, like that's it. I can't eat the dish no more because I don't trust the whole dish.
I
And
don't try.
so
Well, that just might be your trusting issues that you have with the
well,
world.
no, that's just like I don't I if you put onions on it, like McDonald's burgers, they love to put like those small little onions.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
can't. I just throw the whole. I have to throw the whole thing away. I cannot. It grosses me out. The taste of onion. Now, when I'm having tacos, I'll put like when they're like diced up, I might have a little bit of like two or three that I'll put on there, because I add a bunch of stuff to it, so it doesn't really,
It hides it, yeah.
it kind of hides it, and so I am able to get to whatever flavor that people love about onion. But besides that, and I'll have onion rings. I'll have onion rings, um,
So-
which is just fried onion. but
exactly, which is
but
actually not that different at all.
but that's the limit. After that, no more. I cannot
Mm,
do onion. It
mm,
grosses me out, and anybody knows me knows I hate it. And the moment I'm telling you, the moment you can't give me anything if it's like a little pasta dish or
yeah.
anything. The moment I taste the onion, I'm gonna throw up.
Speaking of onion, that's another thing. Vegetables where they don't have enough options. Like they don't have small batches of vegetables. I've been trying.
Mm,
I've been thinking about this for a while now. Why
okay.
don't stores and grocery stores sell vegetables in like single day packs? Why haven't you noticed that if you go to buy salad or like vegetables or anything, it comes in like this week supply, and so like if you live by yourself, a lot of it goes to waste because you're not going to use all that. Like, or,
Okay. So that must be the bodegas that he's talking about. I've always been able to go to a store and buy a single onion if I want it. I don't know what
well,
you
no,
I
right,
don't know
right.
what
You
you're
could buy
talking.
you could buy the produce, but I mean more like leaves, um, like peppers. Or I guess you can buy a single pepper, but even that,
Yeah, I guess so. I mean like bag
or
if
like
you're like
salad,
salads and
like
stuff
a
like that.
yeah, like
Usually
kale, like a bag of
or
kale.
like broccoli. I know that they don't ever have like smaller packages. Like what if I just want broccoli for tonight's meal? But
Right, or
but
or
I gotta
green
buy
bean.
yeah, I gotta buy a big bag of broccoli and then
Right.
it goes bad in my yeah, that I do agree with. In some in certain circumstances that
Or you know what I think what I've noticed now that I live, that I basically cook for myself now and grinds my gears the most,
okay.
buying avocados.
Why
Buying
why
Buying
about
avocados is the worst because when you're planning to have avocados for dinner that day, you go to the supermarket and they never have avocados that are ready.
yeah, the avocados are never ready when you want them.
So you basically have to plan ahead for avocados.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
yep,
go and you buy one or two or three, and then plans change. You end up having leftovers, or you
yep,
end up
and
going
then the
to a
avocado
restaurant
is
that day,
bad. Yep,
and then they go
and the
bad.
avocado is bad. Yeah, that's how the avocado industry is. I think is staying alive. A lot is due to that, is because you if you want avocado for dinner, you're already 3 days late,
Yeah,
um,
exactly,
because you should have planned that last week, to get that avocado so it's ready for you tonight. So when you
exactly.
do go get the avocado, it is like hard as a rock. And so then you're like, all right, well then I'll eat it with tacos on Thursday. But then guess what? Thursday's got a special 2 for 1 somewhere else. So
Mhm.
you realize, you know what? And then you forget the avocados are there.
Yeah.
And then
You
before
know,
you know it,
that's why maybe that's why you go to Chipotle or you go to anywhere that sells like Mexican food and the add-on for an avocado is like $3
yeah.
more. Like maybe maybe they're
Yeah,
just taking into account
because
all
they've been planning ahead of time. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for them having it there available to you because everywhere
exactly.
else in the world, the avocados are going to be available for you until next week.
Avocados are such an issue. We need to do something about this.
Yeah, and I wonder if there's just like a schedule of like when like is there only a certain day every week there's a certain day that all avocados and like within the
There
state are just ready,
there
right? It
has to
must
be,
be. It
right?
must be. Because it doesn't matter what stores like they're all the same amount of ripeness at the exact same time. So they all are
Right,
all ready
right.
at one time, which is crazy. So it's like on a Thursday, everybody can have an avocado on Thursday. And you don't realize like how much the avocado industry is controlling you. You don't even get to control it. You think you have a play in it, or decision to make, but no, they own you. They decided on Thursday is the only day you can really have an avocado.
Yeah,
And
they
then
know they know what you're having for dinner before you do.
exactly, yeah, they're all saying, "Listen, we know that based off of the percentage amount of people in the world, at least 40% of them are having tacos tonight based off avocado ripeness."
Right.
Yeah, I never thought about that. You're right. You're
Big
right.
problem, man.
I think that yeah. About besides that, I don't know about any other vegetables though. I feel like a lot of vegetables you can kind of just get um freely, you know. Now that
Mhm,
like
mhm.
you said, you said you've been cooking. I've been cooking for myself too, and you know what? Chicken though, like frozen chicken always comes in like big like
Well,
amounts.
and if it's in a smaller, more efficient one, it's usually more expensive. Yeah, that's how they
Yeah,
get you.
exactly. And if you want only want a few pieces, it's like $10 just for that. And I think to myself,
Right.
well, this chicken over here, I'm getting 24 pieces for like $8. Just that's over exaggeration. That's not true, but
I'm very much the type of person that I'll go into the store and I'm looking at like the unit price and I'm like, well,
yes,
per dollar, what does that even mean? Or like,
yeah.
oh, eight bounty rolls of paper towel. Well, for $5, well, what? How does that compare to the other one? So I'm very much of that person.
Yeah. I also do the same. I'm thinking to myself, wait a second. But then I think to myself, do I want its quality over quantity? Do I want the chicken that lived a good life, or do I want the chicken that was like, obese and couldn't walk for most of his life, and he got sent to
Couldn't walk.
it got sent to the processor, and I'm eating it, which makes me laugh. I'm not thinking we're talking about chicken. It made me think about when you look at the chicken packages and it says with rib meat. Um, I for everybody listening here, this is how I am. I like to say I'm a little bit of a smarter person, but this is how I know I am a little bit dumb at times.
Hmm.
But listen, if when you hear this right now, you're gonna think, "Oh wow, he's dumb." But let me tell you, if I'm dumb, then the people who listen to me were dumber. All right, because what happened was we back in school we would sort of host these events for our fraternity, and one of them was like we would basically make taquitos and sell them. The taquitos are just wrapped tortilla and chicken and fried
Yeah.
basically. And so we would have to go buy like big amounts of chicken in order to cook it and put in these taquitos. And me being like trying to be thinking about everybody, I was I wanted to make sure that we were having chicken. We were having like when you go like get sausage or something, it's like chicken, beef, and pork all mixed together.
Right. Right.
I didn't want to do anything like that because what there's people who don't eat pork, people who don't eat beef or something.
Right.
Well, I would read the chicken package and it would say like it had rib meat. And so I honest to God believe that rib meat was like ribs from like cows or something, like cow rib. And I would think to myself, like, why, how they, and then I would always think to myself too, like, how they cut this chicken off the bone and why would they add rib meat to it like purposely? Why would they add it looks like a whole chicken breast. Why would they purposely inject like pieces
Right.
of rib meat in there?
You're like,
And
they did
so
this on purpose.
yeah, and so we would have these events. I remember one time I went and I convinced them all that we couldn't get this. It was a little bit cheaper to get the bulk chicken, but I was like, we can't get it. It says rib meat, so we had to we paid a little bit extra for the better chicken because it said no rib meat on there.
Hmm.
Because I was told everybody, I convinced everybody that this rib meat had beef in it. Until a little bit later that I realized, wait a second, rib meat is just saying. I was like, wait, chickens have ribs also. This is all they're saying is that there's pieces of meat from the rib of the chicken, and
Yeah, not all breast.
it's not all breast. And I just thought it was funny because I convinced a lot of people that that chicken with rib meat meant it had cow beef. Um, so the more you
You're
know.
over here thinking, you're over here having everyone in Carlisle concerned over the
Yeah, and
Walmart
I mean, I
chicken.
had a good amount of people concerned over this chicken. They're like, "Oh wow, what have we been doing? We've been feeding people beef." No,
Yeah.
you just you just had a little bit of rib meat from the chicken. So chickens have ribs too. Just for everybody wondering.
Moral of the story.
Moral of the story: chickens have ribs. But yeah. So, well, I think that was a good amount that we talked about here.
Yeah,
Um,
man, it was nice to hear about your trip to Chicago. It was a good little chat here.
definitely, and hopefully you can get some avocados that will be ripe. By
Got
the
to plan
time
ahead.
you get them, yeah, plan ahead and make sure there's nothing else going on for you to do that, and hopefully you can sort of experience more breakfast options in the future. Maybe there are going to be some things going on. Some maybe have you ever had a sausage roll? I guess before we end it, have you ever had a sausage roll before? That's a breakfast.
Sausage roll. I'm not a big
Yeah,
sausage fan to begin with,
like
though.
a pigs in a blanket, I think is what people call them. Here in Dallas, we have donut shops. We call them donut shops because every thing it's like a shop, and everyone has a sign that just says donut on there. It doesn't say anything else. There's no name for the place. It just says donut. There's a sign that says donut, and so we just call them donut shops. And then I feel like they're it's always run by like some type of Korean people, and
Hmm.
um every single donut shop is like I'm starting to think like it's a whole conspiracy. Like it's like one big family. They own these shops everywhere across Dallas because they make donuts.
It's just a storefront that says donut on it.
In a storefront and random places like, but you'll find them like, it takes you a few blocks and you're gonna hit another donut shop. And it just
Yo,
says,
that's so funny that you said that because New York recently had a big conspiracy theory with a mattress firm. Do they have mattress firm in Dallas?
yeah, we have mattress rooms, yeah.
So in New York, like I think it was like last summer, there was this big conspiracy theory where people were basically like, "Oh, wait a second, why are there so many mattress firm stores? And B, has anybody ever seen a customer in those stores?"
Oh
So
yeah, I
people,
think I did hear about that. They were like fronts for something, right?
yeah, well, basically people started digging into it and they were like, "Is this even legit? Like, why are there so many?"
Yeah.
And it was basically like, "Why are there two in this shopping district?" Like, it was just like so sus.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is with these donut shops. It's like, why is there so many donut shops? And
Hmm.
they make identical. I'm talking about every donut's identical. You can go this one to that one, and they all serve these things, and they call them sausage rolls. And it's basically like this link of sausage link in this like bread, like this warm bread. And they're everywhere. And I mean, are they good? Yeah, like it's like heaven in your mouth when you eat them, but they're
I would
everywhere, and
agree.
they all make them the exact same way. And I'm wondering what's going on. So maybe that's something we'll have to discuss or evaluate next time because
Yeah, get us some pictures of post a picture on Instagram
I'll
of
post some pictures for everybody to there's one right nearby. They incorporated a yogurt berry into it.
oh wow.
They're evolving, but
Mm,
yeah, because there's just one in every corner. And we just have so many, and I don't know what's going on. And then maybe we can look into the mattress firm thing. But yeah,
yeah.
it was great talking to you. And hopefully you have some more fun stuff coming your way. Hopefully you enjoy your 2 day weekend here. I know tomorrow's Sunday, so Wednesday's gonna be Monday for you.
Yeah.
Enjoy the
Yeah,
time. And
it's my weekend to have off while everybody works, so I can't really hang out with anybody. So
yeah, well, that's what you really don't need anybody. Just have fun with yourself and do fun stuff around New York. But right, you say you make it seem like New York is like the biggest city in the world. I'm sure you'll find
well,
something.
the city in the country, so here's a little bit of everything.
All right. Well, then I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, have a good night, everybody.
All right. Good night, everybody. And thanks for listening to We're Just Talking. Also, make sure to reach out to us about what you like guys like to hear next time.